With Halloween just around the corner, Charles County government wants to make sure that all of our residents have plenty of opportunities to have a great and safe Halloween. I wonder who we could talk to who could help us figure out how we can stay healthy, stay safe, and stay busy this Halloween. I know who we can call. Luckily, I knew just who to call who could help us figure out how we can stay healthy, stay safe, and stay busy this Halloween. I am so happy to be joined here today by Department of Emergency Services, Missy Fox-Urslev and Brandy Szymanski. So Brandy, tell us, how can we stay healthy this Halloween?
So you absolutely want to make sure that you're wearing your mask, staying 6 feet apart, and if you're not feeling well, make sure you stay home.
Awesome. Good advice for always, and especially during Halloween. Thank you. And Missy, what about staying safe? What are some good things that Charles County residents can do to stay safe while they're out and about?
You should always go to the houses that have their front porch lights on. You should always be visible, whether you have a flashlight or glow lights when you're walking the streets. And always make sure you check your candy before you eat it. Make sure it's not open, make sure it doesn't look different or funny, have any weird smells, and if it does, don't eat it.
That's really good advice, and I'm sure there's plenty of parents who would be happy to taste test chocolate, right? Would you guys also be willing to do that? So if anybody brings your chocolate, you would check that? All right, and I don't know about you, but I want to stay busy this Halloween. The weather is beautiful. It's a time to be out and about. What's going on in the county that Charles County residents could do to stay busy right now?
So the Charles County Department of Emergency Services will be having a trunk or treat at the Charles County Fairgrounds on Saturday, October 30th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Awesome, thank you. And they'll get to see you guys there in costumes, having fun, see the ambulance. I love it. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want us to know?
We just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Halloween from the Department of Emergency Services.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad we could be out here today figuring out how everybody in Charles County can stay healthy, stay safe, and stay busy this Halloween.
Do you want to make positive contributions in your Charles County community but aren't sure where to start? Join one of Charles County's boards, commissions, or committees to see current vacancies and submit an application. Visit www.charlescountymd.gov and follow the boards and commissions links. Stepping up to serve the Charles County community will allow you to shape the county's present and future.
Applying for jobs with Charles County government is now easier and more efficient. Visit www.charlescountymd.gov for more information.
I'm Kathy Thompson. I'm the Preservation and Long Range Planning Program Manager for Charles County Government, and I oversee the Historic Preservation Program. So that program aims to identify, to preserve, and really to celebrate the stories and the sites that are significant to our collective history. We have many historic sites in Charles County that are historically significant, and some of our earliest sites to be preserved and to recognize include sites that are associated with our Revolutionary War patriots, including Thomas Stone, the signer of the Declaration of Independence, or General William Smallwood, who served in the Revolutionary War and later became the governor of Maryland. And we have a wonderful tradition to celebrate of the Maryland 400, who were a group of soldiers who fought gallantly at the Battle of Brooklyn to hold the line, which was a key battle. So a wonderful tradition of sites that recognize and celebrate these early attempts to secure freedom. But there are other stories in Charles County that are similar in many ways, but much less well known. I had an opportunity to work with Angela Bailey and Cameron Nelson recently, who are two college students working on a fellowship for the Underground Railroad Network to Freedom, and they are documenting news stories that are significant to Charles County.
My name is Angela Bailey. I'm originally from Port Tobacco, Maryland, and I'm currently a graduate student at the University of Maryland, and I'm getting 2 masters in historic preservation and applied anthropology. I'm interested in the archaeology of slavery and becoming a historic archaeologist in the future.
My name is Cameron Nelson. I'm a senior history and political science double major currently attending Howard University. And I am a part of the 400 Years of African American Fellows Program sponsored by the Maryland Department of Commerce, Transportation, and the Network to Freedom Foundation.
The fellowship that I was a part of was created by the Maryland State Tourism Department as well as the Maryland State Archives, and the purpose of the fellowship was to nominate more sites for the Network to Freedom program run by the National Park Service. Myself and 3 other fellows were tasked with researching sites that could be included onto the Network to Freedom in regions in Maryland. The Network to Freedom is a program created by the National Park Service, and essentially the purpose is to document sites related to the Underground Railroad, or more generally, freedom-seeking stories related to slavery. And it connects people with those stories through tourism events, sites. It allows for grants to be given to those sites to do future interpretation, and it also documents the sites on a larger database for descendants or anybody interested to research this history.
So I actually became involved because I became a fellow of something called the 400 Years of African American History. This was actually a fellowship provided through the Maryland Department of Commerce, the Maryland Department of Tourism, and in partnership with the Maryland State Archives and the Network to Freedom Foundation. And so because of this, I had access to not only working with the Maryland State Archives, however, in my description for the fellowship, I also had to create applications for the Network to Freedom Foundation.
For my portion of the fellowship, one of the sites that I nominated was the Port Tobacco jail sites. There were 2 Port Tobacco jail sites in the 19th century, and I'm nominating them as sort of a continuation of one another. One of them, the earlier 19th century site, is associated with the Bill Wheeler and Mark Caesar 1845 escape. That was where they both were held, as well as other people involved with the escape. It was where Bill Wheeler eventually escaped in 1846 and when they were held waiting for trial. And the later jail site, which is located nearby the earlier one, was the site of a few escapes as well. And they're no longer standing. They just survive as archaeology sites, but they were documented and found in the recent years located outside of the currently reconstructed Port Tobacco courthouse.
Originally, I had my first assignment for my fellowship was actually to do research on Harriet Shepper. She was actually an enslaved woman from Chestertown, Maryland, who actually managed to escape via the Underground Railroad. Of that, one of my sources had originally said that she went by the alias of Rachel Moore. However, after doing more and more research, I found out that these 2 women were completely different. And this actually had led me and piqued my interest in the fact that many of the stories that at first we thought we knew might have minute or minor details that we think all bring the story together, but in reality could lead to a completely different pathway. So when my second assignment was to look into what we perceived as this completely different Rockville insurrection or resistance, I was extremely interested when we found out that the people involved were actually connected, seeing stories about what at that time I just saw or assumed was just another enslaved person called Bill Wheeler. And then after speaking with one of my fellows, Angela Bailey, who was actually covering the Port Tobacco insurrection or escape, we actually were able to piece things together and see these are actually related. And so this really brought out my enthusiasm and just pure excitement to do more research on the site.
I think the story of Mark Caesar and Bill Wheeler, who faced tremendous danger and bravery in their quest for Freedom is a story that equally deserves to be recognized and elevated and documented. So that's why I was so excited to work with Angela and Cameron on this project and to continue efforts to identify the sites that are significant to this story and work to preserve them for future generations.